Live visuals here still from School Barberton in Mbombela. As you can see there, the cortège ready to leave. Quite a number of people have been spoken to. We spoke a bit earlier on to the Secretary General of the ANC, also speaking to Lasizwe of a unifier. Yeah. Also Natasha Piri there speaking to MEC Vusi Shongwe, who she reminded us again in 2015 was the trusted soldier who took over and was acting premier when the late former deputy president, who was then premier of the province, took ill. Yeah, absolutely. So as I was listening to that, Mzwai, that conversation, it reminded us, as you say, Mfundo, of that period. Because in 2015, the then premier of Mpumalanga, David Mabuza, fell ill just after his birthday. That's the story that he narrates. So his birthday is what, the 25th of August, and he fell ill a few weeks after that, so into September, and ended up taking some 2 months off. And Vusi Shongwe was the person acting as premier at that time. And this is where the intrigue really comes in, right? This is where this mantra of the cat comes in, because the story is narrated about how, you know, it was meant to be an acting stint of 90 days. And there was already rumblings about, is he going to come back? Is he not going to come back? People were pouring through the constitution to say, what happens if he doesn't come back, if he's inactive for a period of 90 days? Opposition parties, by the way, the DA among them at the time. Yeah, and the EFF, Colin Sedibe.
We're already saying, let's get ready. We might have to find a way to replace the premier. But then, just as the clock is starting to tick towards that deadline, he shows up and he just comes in. You could tell he was unwell, though. He still was quite unwell at that point.
I actually remember having an exclusive interview with him. I was still on radio, and he did indicate on that very day when he spoke and said the cat is back. But he did say that, Mfundo, I'm ill. Yeah. I'm still ill, but the youth league of this province believes in me. And it seemed that there was some sort of a issue. The youth in the province, the likes of Desmond Muela, Sasekani Manzini, Puluso Banzani, it seemed as though when that acting stint was on, that they were not particularly happy with certain decisions that Vusi Shongwe had taken, and it seems that there was some sort of reporting back to the premier that things in your absence are going wrong. And that was the tone from everybody and every commentator at the time, that it seems that because he was so close to the youth league, they had gone to report that certain decisions were taken that were either not in favor of the youth league or left them out of opportunities, because he had always wanted to empower them. And then he felt and stated on that day that I heard ukuthi bekunetindo letingahambi kahle kodwa sengibuyile.
Yeah, the cat is
back. Likati mali ngekho makundwana ayadlala. Yeah. But he said he's back, and that's where that specific phrase or term gained prominence of the cat.
Yeah. Oh yes, and I think that's why we're talking about the man who also is an intrigue of sorts as well. You cannot tell us in full what type of man he is. I mean, we were speaking throughout the week to ordinary people. Yes, those who support him speak so well of him, but the opinion is divided. There are those who feel he is a divider, and then there are those who feel he's a uniter.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of that, that mantra of the cat is back, let me just mention what you're also seeing on your screens. You were seeing a few seconds ago the ceremonial guard. The gun carrier is now being put to use in terms of transporting the casket, and we did talk about the transition and the switch that will happen at some point. The ceremonial guard, those members that you see them, Zwai, I've spoken about it before. I don't mind repeating the story again, because it goes back to the days of the state president's guard. This was when C.R. Swart was state president. So you go back all the way to around 1961, when South Africa transitioned from the Union to the Republic, with the Republican Constitution that was adopted. So it was the state president's guard, then until about 1990 or thereabouts, at which point it stopped being active until President Nelson Mandela commissions it and also chooses that uniform. So if you like the uniform, you have the late former President Nelson Mandela to thank, if you don't like it. Nevertheless, this is the result.